We remember the horrific scene exactly 1 year ago. It has been a long year of detonating cranes and delicately removing the bodies of those two trapped workers. But we've also learned of major failures by the construction team and by City Hall inspectors. Eyewitness investigator David Hammer led those investigations, and now he has an update on the city inspectors. David?
Yeah, Karen and Katie, inspections have been a major part of the Hardrock Hotel story. Initially, we were looking at what went wrong, what led to the collapse. Federal investigators found that construction crews failed to put in enough supports on those upper floors and didn't follow some of the construction plans. But then we discovered that city inspectors were approving some of those things sight unseen, and the city has promised to fix the inspections department, but that's been easier said than done. Early this year, our eyewitness investigation tracked the whereabouts of city inspectors by following the GPS data on their city vehicles and found them approving construction work at the Hardrock Hotel before it collapsed, without ever actually going to the site. We found this affected several major building projects too, and a former inspector also pleaded guilty in federal court to taking bribes for falsified inspections. In response, the city's chief administrative officer, Gilbert Montano, promised a major shakeup in the safety and permits department.
This is a complete overhaul of the organization from almost top to bottom.
But 7 months later, and a year after the deadly Hardrock collapse, that overhaul has largely not materialized.
Most of the positions we've been advertising since March have not been applied for.
Montano demoted Safety and Permits Director Zach Smith in March, but had to keep him on as the only person in the government certified to oversee building inspectors. They have yet to find his replacement.
If there's any qualified candidates out there, I think it's a great opportunity.
The city still has 14 vacancies for inspectors. Meanwhile, building activity is only slightly down this year compared to last, from 35,000 permit applications the year before the Hardrock collapse to 29,000 in the year since. Montano said they've gotten creative, adding 4 commercial building inspectors by borrowing them from the Vieux Carré Commission and Historic District Landmarks Commission.
And what does that do to monitoring, this whole monitoring program with the GPS and making sure that these inspectors are actually doing the work?
Sure. So part of what our commitment was when all of this came down was to establish a robust internal audit.
We asked for the results of that audit last Tuesday, October 6th. Montano provided us a summary of the audit findings dated 3 days later. The summary says the audit found 82% of inspection records were proper, but still found some problems, including an unspecified number of times that inspectors' vehicles did not go to the site for an inspection.
You're confident that every inspection that's been done since March was done in person as required, the GPS monitoring is being done, and they're using the app as they're supposed to?
I'm confident, and that's a tough question, right? Because I mean, I miss one and all of a sudden I'm a liar in regards to that. I'm confident that the systems my leadership has put in place within that agencies are being followed. And if they're not followed, then there is significant and quick resolve to ensure that that doesn't occur again.
Now, in addition to that internal audit, the city also hired an external audit from former U.S. Attorney Kenneth Polite, who works in Philadelphia now, and his team was supposed to investigate, and they were hired before the Hardrock even collapsed to look at that safety and permits department. But that report also has not materialized. Montano said a cyber attack that hit the city in December had prevented Polite's team from getting emails they needed until just about a month or two ago. Reporting live from the Hardrock Hotel collapse site, David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
Okay, David, thank you so much. Still more to come on that story. And here is a closer look at the timeline of events involving that Hardrock Hotel construction site collapse. Remember, that collapse happened 1 year ago today, October 12th, 2019. It took nearly a year before the body of Quinyon Wimberly was removed. That just happened on August 8th. And on August 17th, Jose Ponce Areola's body was removed from the collapse site. Demolition's been slow, but a huge chunk of that building was demolished on September 24th.